Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar titled Build Your First Python Strategy Using ChatGPT and the Fyers API, hosted by Fyers. We are delighted to have Mr. Rajandran, the creator of OpenAlgo, with us today. A telecom engineer turned a full-time derivatives trader, Mr. Rajandran has been trading the market since 2006 and specializes in Nifty, Bank Nifty, and high liquid stock derivatives. With over a decade of experience in market profile and order flow analysis, he has published more than 100 open source trading systems and is the author of marketcalls.in. In today's session, Mr. Rajendra will guide us through setting up an algo trading environment, configuring Fyers API with OpenAlgo, building your first Python strategy using ChatGPT and OpenAlgo, handling live and historical data with Pandas, understanding prompting techniques for trading strategies.
Yeah.
So let's dive in, hands-on session with Mr. Rajendran, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Shall I share my screen, Jeffrey?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let me share my screen. So hopefully you guys are able to see my screen over here.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
All right, just give me a sec. All right, so thank you for Jeffrey for the quick introduction about me. And in today's session, right, we're going to discuss about how you can build your first Python strategy without writing a single line of code, and how you can make use of ChatGPT to set up the complete environment, and how you can use the Fyers API to send your first automated orders or first to build your trading strategy without writing a single line of code. That's what we're going to learn over here. And so the two major requirements are like you need to have OpenAlgo, which I'm going to show you how to install it, and you need Fyers API as well, right? So let me tell you what an OpenAlgo is all about. So OpenAlgo is a self-hostable trading application. It's kind of an your own private algo trading platform, which is 100% open source, and which means you can free to use. You can get the complete source code. You are free to modify. You can freely distribute to your friends, or you can add changes, and you can add your own features. And it runs on Mac, Windows, Linux, and you can also host it in your own cloud. You can host it under your own private domain, like WordPress kind of stuff. Completely inspired by WordPress, and completely inspired by there's an US-based application called FragTrade, which is an open source for crypto markets. But for Indian markets, I thought like we should be building something cool like FragTrade. So that's the reason we built OpenAlgo. So I would say like OpenAlgo is kind of a baby. It's like almost like last 8 months we've been keep putting our effort on building OpenAlgo. OpenAlgo itself completely built using ChatGPT and Claude Sonnet models. Not even a single line of code has been written. Few lines we would have been here and there would have written here. And what you can do with OpenAlgo is like you can connect with your own favorite trading strategies. Your trading strategies can be from AmiBroker, or it can be from TradingView, or it can be from Python, or it can be from Excel, or it can be from MetaTrader, or very soon from Charting or various other trading applications, right? And yeah, this is how the OpenAlgo architecture works. So we have Python strategies running, which will be talking to OpenAlgo, and OpenAlgo will be sending orders to Fyers. So we'll be using OpenAlgo as a bridge. Kind of as of now, it is acting like a bridge, kind of a trading bridge, which process the signals, and it's going to send the orders. Or not only orders, you can do a lot more things. You can render historical data. You can watch your funds, order book, trade book, position book. All those things you'll be able to see over here. And along with that, we have a lot more cool tools, which I'm going to demonstrate that. So here, we're going to use Fyers API as an intermediate layer. So for those people who are very new to API, right? Fyers API is like kind of an connectivity, like kind of a software connectivity, which will help you to transmit your signals to convert into orders, right? You can do a lot more things. It's just not just transmitting orders. You can do risk management. You can do portfolio management, and a lot more things you can do with the the Fyers API, and Fyers API in turn will be connected with the brokers, order management system, and risk management system. And then the OMS or the RMS will also be connected. I mean, the OMS will be automatically connected with the exchanges as well, multiple exchanges. In our case, NSE, BSE, MCX, and if in case NCDEX tomorrow, yeah, you can connect with the NCDEX also. So let's get back to the basics here. So I'm going to show you the setup of how or what you should be doing with OpenAlgo. First thing first, you can go to openalgo.in. You can go to the documentation section, completely the installation documents, Fyers installation guidelines, video tutorials. So everything is in place here. So you have to go to the GitHub source code. This is the GitHub link. So where this will take you to this page. So where the complete source code of OpenAlgo is available. OpenAlgo itself built on top of a Python-based Flask web application. So I'm going to copy this link, right? And then I'm going to go to VS Code. So make sure that Python is installed and Git is installed. So let me go to the terminal. You can set up OpenAlgo probably like within 2 to 3 minutes, more or less you can up and running. So I'm going to just simply type git clone, and then I'm going to paste this command over here, paste the URL. So this will be downloading OpenAlgo into my local folder. You can see that under OpenAlgo_Fyers, my OpenAlgo complete source code has been downloaded, right? And once this is done, you can go to this env file. There is an environmental file will be there, sample.env. You can either rename it or you can copy and paste. So I'm just going to copy here, copy, and then I'm going to paste the files over here. Rename the file as .env. Anyways, the procedures are already there in the documentation section. You can always refer it. So in this .env file, you have to bring your Fyers API key, Fyers API secret, and the redirect URL. You have to replace the broker name as Fyers. So just replace the name as Fyers here. And I'm going to go to the Fyers API portal. So let me go to the API portal, Fyers, my API, right? So my API .fyers.in. You can go here, go to just sign in, enter your credentials. And once you're done with that, go to the dashboard. And from here, you have to go and create the API app. It's very simple. Click on the API apps, enter the API name. API name can be anything. So just type OpenAlgo or what are the name that you are comfortable with that. Enter the redirect URL, which we had copied from the env file, right? So just copy it. If you're hosting under your own domain, you have to replace it with your own domain, right? And then description, again, I'll give the name as OpenAlgo. Now, under the webhook post back section, we don't need that. It's optional. So I'm going to delete that. And the most important one is the permission. So ensure that all the permissions are provided over here. Now, once all the permissions are provided, we can go and easily create an app over here, right? I think I already have that app exist. Maybe I'll try to create a different name, maybe OpenAlgo-Fyers. That's the name I'm going to give. And redirect URL, I'm going to copy again, copy, I'll paste it over here, remove the post back and apply the permissions and accept. So create the app. This will be creating the application and we will be getting the API key, which is nothing but the app ID and the app password. So scroll down, go and get the OpenAlgo-Fyers app ID. So all you do is like just copy and replace the default values over here. Likewise, API key also you replace with the secret ID. Ensure that there is no spaces has been provided. And Control S, ensure that you save the file. And now once the configuration is done, so this is a configuration setup. Once the configuration setup is done, now we have to install the Python dependencies. So pip install -r requirements.txt. This will be installing all the list of Python dependencies. I think I have to go and so pip install -r requirements.txt. Right? So this will be installing the dependencies over here. Just give me a sec. I think I have to enter into that OpenAlgo folder. So I just have to say cd space OpenAlgo, and then let me install the requirements. Yeah, so this will be installing the requirements file. So maybe this might take anywhere between 1 to 2 minutes sometimes. But if you're using a faster machine, maybe like 30 seconds, you should be getting done with all the installations. In my case, the installation has been done. So once the installation is done, now it's time to open OpenAlgo. So you just have to type Python app.py, and that will be launching OpenAlgo under the port 5000. Right, so the 5000 is the default port for the Flask application. And it's highly recommended that you use either Chrome browser or Firefox browser. So most of the modern browser supports OpenAlgo, so we don't need to worry about that. So yeah, as you can see that it's running on the port. I'm going to control and then click on that link. So that opens up OpenAlgo. So when you're installing for the first time, right, when you're clicking on login, it will be asking you to create an, it will go to the registration page. So you have to register with your own credentials. Now all the data stays in your local machine, all your trading strategy, all your passwords and API keys and everything. Nothing will be communicated, exposed anywhere outside. I'll enter my credentials. I'll enter my password as well. So ensure that you're giving a strong password. It doesn't allow weaker passwords. So once it is done, create the account, right? This is your own private account, right? The data is stored locally. All the data is stored locally. And we also have the setup TOTP authentication. If in case you forgot the password, you want to retrieve back, you can always scan this and you can keep it as a secure manner in your using some Google Authenticator or something. It's optional. If you know you're going to remember your password, you can skip it out and you can move on to login. And now I'm going to enter my login here. So I just logged in. Now it's time to connect to the broker application. So let me connect with Fyers API. I'm going to establish connection. I'm going to say like, hey, I'm the user. I'm the Fyers user, so-and-so user. Please give me access to my account so that I want to place orders. So let me connect my account. First time it will be asking you for this permission, and I'll say I accept, and then click on continue. So obviously, once you're done with this, you'll be getting access to your trading dashboard. So right now, you can get access to your order book, trade book, position book, and everything. So first time when the application has been logged in, every time you log in, a fresh master contract will be downloaded. Maybe it'll take like some 10 seconds. Within 10 seconds, the data will be downloaded. Now, which means you are ready to do your first automation. So now I'm going to show you how you can make use of those information. First, I'll tell you how you can use Python to connect with your own trading accounts and how easy it is, right? So I'll go to the documentation over here. So if you could see here, there is a documentation section, docs. And under this docs, we have this Python. So you can see you can go to Python. So where you can find all the Python related functions to access your funds, to place orders, and a lot more features. I'll show you one by one. And probably then we'll navigate to ChatGPT and then we'll start building strategies, right? So I'm gonna copy this. This is a library. We need pip install OpenAlgo. By default, when you're installing OpenAlgo, the OpenAlgo library also would have been comes pre-installed. So I'm gonna go to my Visual Studio Code. Inside that, you might be finding a folder name called strategies. So here I'm gonna create a test application. So I'm gonna call that as like test.ipynb, IPython notebook. Whenever I want to write or test my strategies, right, I always use Python notebook, a Jupyter notebook. So maybe if you're already familiar with Python, you know what is a Jupyter notebook is all about. It's kind of a cell-based execution. So here I'm gonna test this out. So I have to get my API key here. So this is the API key which will be used to connect with OpenAlgo. So in order to get this API key, right, I have to go to the OpenAlgo platform. I have to go to the API key section. I have to generate the API key. First time there won't be any API key, so you have to generate it. So once you generate it, just copy the API key and then replace with that. Right? So I just replace my API key over here. So probably this is the thing. So let me execute this. First time when I'm trying to execute for the very first time, it'll be asking me to select the Python environment. I select my Python environment. And if I try to run, first time it will be asking to install the IPython kernel package. So it's a one-time thing. And then you can easily test any kind of Python functions you can easily able to connect. And you'll be able to easily test it out. So you can see that once I execute this particular code block executes. So now everything is fine. I'm connected with OpenAlgo. And let me also minimize this. Okay, so that you can be able to see the complete screen. Okay, now let's go and place our first order. So placing the order is as simple and it's pretty fun also with the OpenAlgo. It has been made in such a way that any people, right, even the kid who is like 10 years old, they should be able to understand what is happening here. So we have this. This is a simple thing. Like I just say, what is my strategy name, symbol, buy or sell, which exchange, market order, or what kind of order it is, and product. So these are like OpenAlgo standards. Uh, Maybe it's slightly different from the Fyers one, but the MAS is for intraday orders, right? Margin intraday square off. So I'm going to place my first live order over here in Reliance. So if I'm going to paste it, maybe I can show you side by side. You can see how faster the execution is. On the left-hand side, I'm going to keep. Maybe I'll try to show you instantly. You can see that the order has been executed in the live account. In the order book, I can see that my first order has been punched over here. Maybe I'll try to push, maybe, let me check if I can push it out. This is not Windows, so I'm just checking what key I should be using it. Doesn't matter. So I think, so here, right, many people's requirement is like, hey, I don't want to risk trading directly in live. I want to use some sort of an paper testing or kind of strategy testing, right? So this is not actual paper trading though, but this is something called API analyzer. So there's two mode here. By default, it's in live mode. I can switch back to analyze mode. So if I'm switching back in analyze mode, let's say I'm going to send the same orders over here, right? Same order I'm going to send, but it will not hit my live account. Rather, it will be hitting only OpenAlgo only, and OpenAlgo will be sending a sample response. You can see that I'm just getting a response here saying that it's in analyze mode, right? It's an analyze mode. I'm getting a sample order ID, which mimics what the broker does. And I'm also getting the status as success. At the same time, if I go to the analyzer logs, so if I go to the analyzer log here, I'll be able to see what message I had communicated, whether the message is valid or not. And I'll be able to see this. I can go back and view what information I transmitted from my Python and what is the response OpenAlgo or the broker had given it to me, right? So let me transmit one more order. I'm going to change it to the regular mode now, live mode itself. I'm going to transmit one more order to, let's say, in Zomato. So I'm going to send a sell order. Zomato. I'm going to send a sell order. So if I'm going to send, right now we are in a live mode, right? When I'm trying to send in a live mode, I'll go to the order book here. We are in the order book and let me try to send it. So now we can see that there is no analyze mode over here. If there is no analyze mode, that means I'm in a live account. So any orders I'm punching, I'll be in a live account itself. Right, so there are a lot of functions, almost 19 functions right now we support with Fyers API, right from getting the historical data or getting sending orders. Maybe let's say you want to send some basket orders. Now what we can do is like, let me go and send a basket order over here. So basket orders, you can see basket orders over here. An example, just copy it and bring it over here. And let me paste it and let me transmit this order. Okay, this will be placing multiple basket orders. You can send as many orders as much you want. Everything will be spread out and sent parallelly to Fyers API, and Fyers API will be processing and send it to the exchange. And you will also get the response as well. And let's say you want to send a split order, large order you want to transmit. Let's say I just want to send a split order, something like I want to send a split order over here. Maybe I want to send it in I want to send it in Nifty futures, right? Not in Nifty futures, maybe let's say like Nifty options, right? Let's go with Nifty options. So in order to do that, I need to be familiar with something called OpenAlgo symbol, because what are the symbols that we are using here? They are common symbol format, right? And it's slightly different from Fire symbol format. So that is the reason we also have an search section here. So we have the search section. Here you can go and just type it out. Let's say I want Nifty, something like 20, we'll go slightly out of the money, 26,000 call option, December series, right? So we have this 26,000 call option. We can go and get this, search the symbol. So you'll be getting, this is our OpenAlgo symbol, and this is the equivalent Fyers symbol over here. When you're going to send orders, you'll be sending only orders to the uh, OpenAlgo symbol only. And in turn, in the backend, it will be communicating with this corresponding symbol, corresponding exchange. So likewise, you can go and transmit those orders as well. Maybe for time being, I'll show with NSC, and then I'll try to show with let's say like here I'm having like 105 quantity I want to transmit with every packet has like 20. So if I'm going to send this, the order will be instantly communicated over here. It will be sent as an multiple orders, right? So almost it translates into like 5 orders with every packet size is like 20. And the last quantity remaining 5 will be transmitted again. So all those orders that you will be able to see in the order book itself. You can see that all the orders has been instantly getting reflected over there. It will not be taking not much of a time there. Maybe I'll also try with something like, let me try the exchanges like NFO, and let me try the quantity as like something like I'll try with like 1,200 quantity. Maybe the split size, I'm gonna keep it like I want to send it like 200 tranches of 200, right? So it's gonna transmit like what? Uh, Maybe I'll put some remainder quantity also. So this is going to punch 1,000 to 25 quantity with each and every order. The size is going to be 200. You can keep it the way you want, how much you want, you can set it out. And once I send that, that will be transmitting as like what? Multiple orders. You can see that multiple orders are getting executed. Of course, I'm trying to sell, so margin is not there. Maybe I'll try to buy here. So I'm just sending, so instantly you can see that all the orders are getting fired in short. So all the orders are getting completed. And all those orders you'll be able to track in the trade book. You'll be able to track all those orders. What are the orders that we are sending? All the orders you'll be able to track. And all the position size. Right now the position size is like kind of basic stuff, but very soon we'll be implementing more and more innovative and interesting controls. And you also have this holdings as well, where you can monitor your holdings. And we have this trading view tab. If in case you want to trade from, if your strategies are in trading view, you want to send it to OpenAlgo, then you can just copy and paste it, this URL, webhook URL, and generate JSON, and you can transmit orders from trading view strategies as well, right? And as I said, always you can always use API analyzer. Let's say the same order, I'm going to send the split order. I'm going to send, let's say even I'm going to say like, I'll go one step higher. Let's say like 500 size. I'm going to transmit like 6,500 orders. I'm going to transmit 6,550 orders. I'm going to transmit in a shot. So you can see that hardly it took like 0.6 seconds to transmit all those orders. So the number of orders which are hitting over here, this is hitting the live only. So let me move to analyzer mode. Let me try to send the order again. Yeah, so hardly like 0.0 seconds. And you should be seeing all those orders over here. All the split orders are coming over here. The response, you can see all the response over each and every order will be getting a response. Totally it had generated like what? 14 orders it had generated, right? And if I want to close all my open position in one shot, so we have this something called close position. So if I do this close position, it will be closing all my open position in one shot. So let's say like I'll go to the code, just enter my positions over here. So all the positions get closed, and maybe this is right now it's going to the analyzer. So you have to be very sure what mode you're working on. I'll also try to switch to the live mode again, right? So from here on, we're going to use only live mode only. But if I'm in an analyzer mode, right, I want to show you something like maybe if I am missing something, maybe let's say if I'm missing, like if I'm not sending the right symbol, it will be telling you that, hey, you're not sending the right symbol, the symbol is invalid. Or maybe if you're sending like quantities like in a negative quantity, let's say I'm just giving 5 here, -5 here. It says like the quantity is -5, so you should be using the right quantity over here. Or let's say something like you're trying to use a different number over here, something like market and some weird things you are trying to send, it always try to help you where you are going wrong, right? The message will be helping you out so that it will be easy for you to figure out what value you have to send in, and you can fix those stuff here immediately. You can just fix it and then you can execute it. Automatically the execution happens. So everything happens seamlessly, right? So just because you're going to use OpenAlgo, it doesn't slows down your execution. You can really measure the speed of the execution, how faster the execution is happening. You can measure it very easily. And let's say I'll go to the positions. So I'm going to close all the open positions over here. I'm going to switch to live mode. Let me try uh, closing all the open positions, right? So this will be closing all the open position. All my open position got squared off. You can see that everything got emptied. And that means I don't have any open position right now in my system. So it triggered all the open positions. Whatever the open positions are there, it closed all my open positions. And not only that, the main part is like getting the live data. Live data is even more easier and it's very easy to play with that. So this is like quotes. You just send a code example. Oh, I'm sorry. Just copy this. I'll come back to the code here. I'm just simply copy and paste. So all I have to do is like I have to get the depth, or maybe if I want to get the quote, I have to just simply say quote, right? So just say quote and then I think quote or quotes. It's quotes, I think. Quotes. I'm not pretty sure. Maybe we'll go with depth for time being. So in the depth also, we'll be able to get the live data here. This will be getting me the live bid and ask data, top 5 bid and ask. So whatever the complete order book, I'll be able to get over here. And this is like quotes. Yeah, so this will be getting me the quotes over here. So all I have to do is like I just have to pass the symbol. Symbol is always the OpenAlgo symbol, and exchange is like NSE. NFO for futures and option, and MCX is MCX, right? So that way you can get the data. But the most interesting part is like getting the historical data, right? So this is the historical data. It's pretty simple and straightforward. It's easy to understand also, not complex. So symbol, you just pass the symbol here, State Bank of India, exchange is NSE, and you just type the interval as like, what are the interval that you want to work out with? Let's say I want to run my strategies on a 5-minute time frame or a 1-minute time frame. Even Fyers supports like the base interval is like 5-second charts. They support it, right? So you can tell from what day to what date you want to get the data. So you just execute it. You will be getting the data in a Pandas data frame format. So if you understand, there is a popular library in Python called yfinance, where we'll be able to fetch the data from Yahoo Finance. It'll be in Pandas data frame format. So if you want to work your own strategies, right, then it will be very easy if you get the data in a Pandas data frame format. It'll be very easy to process the data. It'll be very easy to build technical indicators, right? I'll be able to build my own technical indicators pretty easily. Let's say I'm going to show you how we can use ChatGPT to build a simple EMA kind of stuff, right? So let's say like I'm going to say like I'm going to go to ChatGPT. So here is ChatGPT. Here I'm going to say like this is my historical data, right? And you can say like this is the format I'm getting in. So this is a format. I'm getting the data in Pandas data frame format. I am getting the data in Pandas data frame format, right? So this is a format over here. Just copy the format and then paste it. Now in ChatGPT, right, there are a lot of models are there. Like 4o is the model which is available at free of cost. They also have like advanced model like O1, O1 Pro, right? These are like kind of advanced model. But I think the basic model, the free model itself, enough to build your own strategies. So here you can say like you can go here and say like now I want to build a simple EMA 10 and EMA 20, and I also want to plot it, right? I also want to plot maybe using plotly in a candlestick format, right? So for that we need plotly package, plotly library. We may have to install it. And I also want to say like to avoid gap, use x-axis category, right? So I just simply type enter. Automatically, it gives you the complete code, like what you should be using it. So here it's not using the data here for data, right? If at all I want to use data, I'm going to say like, hey, use this history example. I'm going to say like, I can give URLs over here. I can say like, can you use history Python uh, function to fetch, let's say like 1 minute data for the last 7 days. So you just simply give this information, automatically it start building the code accordingly. So you can see that now it is trying to read the content. This page, what are the link I had given that contains what the examples is what, oh, I think I had given a wrong example. I given the codes. Instead, I should have given the history example. So here is the history example. Let me give the history value over here. I can re-edit. I'll send the values over here. I'll send it. So now we can see that it is searching the web. It's trying to understand the context. So it's understand like it's adding the headers and it's adding it understand that it requires pandas. It is calling the API keys and everything, right? And now it's setting the symbol as like State Bank of India. Maybe if you don't want that symbol, if you want a different symbol, you can always mention that. It's setting the exchange. It is getting the data. It's trying to get the data for the last 7 days. It's automatically trying to get that, right? And then we are putting that in a data frame, right? So let's see whether this is working or not. So let's just copy it. I'm going to put that in a new, I'm going to call that as like Fyers candlestick charts. That's what I'm going to call it. Fyers hyphen candles dot ipynb, right? So Python file, you have to save it as a Python file if you're going to go for a production execution. If you're going to test it out, you're in the learning phase, or you're going to in a testing phase or an experimental phase, it's highly recommended to go with Jupyter Notebook, IPython Notebook. So open the code, paste over here. We need the API key, right? So API key. So which I'm going to get that API key from our test file itself. We have this API key here. So I'll go and get the Fyers API key, and then I'm gonna try executing this. So there's a play button there. Just try to execute it. If everything works fine, we should be getting the pandas data frame. So just type simply df instead of print. You should be getting that in a table format, or df dot head. So that will be giving you the latest top 5 values. Select the kernel. Selecting the kernel is like one-time thing, and try to execute it. So you see that if you're getting the data, that means everything is seamlessly working fine, right? So I'm just getting the data here. And that is like not the latest data. For latest data, I have to say like df.head. Df means data frame, right? So you see that this is the latest data. Right now, the current market information we are able to get using the OpenAlgo, and the OpenAlgo is fetching in turn from you from the Fyers API. So yeah, this is working fine. Now we're going to enhance it. We're going to add some candlestick charts to that, right? So still it's not done yet. I think, I'm going to say like, this is my code. You just, anytime you have the complete code working solution, just copy the code, go back to ChatGPT and say like, hey, this is my code. I mean, you don't need to literally say this is my code. It really understands the context at a human level, what I try to communicate to an, let's say a developer, right? Who is like a kind of a buddy to me. It understands. So what we are doing is like we are talking to a digital brain, and we're trying to explain certain things, and we're going to get a better output from here. So I'm going to do something like, can you plot candlestick charts using Plotly? Right? So these are some basic basic things you can go and try it out. You can play with the data. You can build indicators, right? Can you plot candlestick charts using Plotly, right? Plotly probably without a gap using x-axis category. So if I'm going to say this, right, then automatically it start bringing up the complete Plotly code. You can see that it started building this Plotly code over here. This is a continuation of the code. So I have to do what? I have to just copy the code, I have to ensure that I have to install Plotly. So first let me go and install Plotly. Plotly is not installed by default. So I'm going to open up another, I'll go to a terminal here. I'll ensure that I'm activating the, I'm in a virtual environment, so I have to activate the virtual environment. Okay, so I'll install Plotly. So pip install. Pip is a kind of a library manager, which will be helping you to install libraries, upgrade libraries, right? And you can also remove the libraries as well. So I'm going to use pip install Plotly. Plotly is like kind of for charting purpose, not like trading view charting, but kind of interactive charting, which you can use it to plot indicators, strategies, and many things. So candlestick charts. So Plotly has been installed. Now I'll go back to ChatGPT here. I'm going to copy the code, right? I'll copy the code here, and I'm going to open a new coding block. So this is what are the code that we are having is a continuation of the code, right? So ensure that the x-axis category is there, because that will the one which will ensure that sometimes Saturday, Sunday it will shown as a big gap, or yesterday and today the timing difference, it will show like a gap. That gap will get removed if you're going to enable this. And I'll just simply execute this. I'm just getting an error. The error I'm getting is like kind of a timestamp error. So I just have to figure it out what it is. So if you don't know what it is, you have to just copy and say like, just copy the error. It's not like every time one shot you're going to get the same thing every time. There are times we may have to talk to the LLM models, the ChatGPT or Claude kind of models, multiple times unless it get the proper context. Sometimes it could be missing something. So I'm just getting this key error as timestamp. So it's asking me, can you give me the columns, right? So I'm going to give this columns so that it might try to rearrange it's asking me some additional details. So I'll give this details over here uh, because I don't have the timestamp column. I can give that as like, I think timestamp is an index. I'm going to say like, this is the output I'm getting. So this is the output I'm getting over here. So what I don't have is like, I don't have the explicit timestamp, but I can tell you like I'm having the timestamp over here. So this is the timestamp. Here, I think the timestamp is the index. So I'm going to say like my timestamp is the index. My timestamp is the index. So since the timestamp is an index, it is restructuring the code accordingly. It's resetting the index. So now let's try it out if this is going to work out. So just replacing the old code. I'm just getting one more time an error. So maybe first I'll do one thing. I'll try to reset the index. Now once I reset the index, we'll go step by step, right? We'll try to understand what is inside the DF. Sure. I'm going to say like this is the data frame which I'm getting after the reset. So I'll just simply say like after resetting index. So this is what I'm getting over here. So now it is giving me another code. Let's see, hopefully this time it should work out. I'm also going to say like I'm using IPython notebook. I'm using IPYNB for testing Plotly. So it will try to give the coding according to the IPython notebook format. So you try to give as much as maximum information. So let's go and copy and then add a, just paste it. Ah, come on. We're just getting that another error. It says like it's saying like we have to install, we need to have like one more this NB format is what it is required. So I'm going to say like this error is just copy and paste. So it's going to display it's working, but the thing is like it's asking like you need one more extra library, maybe one or two more like extra library if in case if you want to render some interactive graphics. So it's asking me to install this one. So pip install NB format. So I have to install this. There's a default thing if you're going to use uh, Plotly, in that interactive charts you're going to use, you need to have that NB format. So once the NB format is installed, maybe I'll do one thing. I'll try to reset my kernel. I'll restart. So my kernel restart has been done. Let me check if I can get the data. Let me also ensure that my OpenAlgo is running. Yeah, OpenAlgo is running fine, and we are also able to get the data. Let's also reset the index. Resetting the index. Yeah, so we have this reset index. Now, once we are done with that, we'll just straight away go to the strategies. Right, so that is done, and hopefully this is also done here. And we have this chart. Maybe the chart I'm not comfortable with that. It's pretty smaller charts, right? Maybe you want a bigger charts. What you can do is like you can also give an image screenshot. So you just take an screenshot of that. Take a screenshot. Say like this is looking ugly, and then you can say like it's not readable. And you just give it to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT can also read images, PDF, text, and including videos also, but not videos in a larger extent. So I can give this image. I can say like the code works. This code here, it worked after NB format and after that restart of the kernel. So I'll say like this code works, but I want a larger chart. And x-axis, probably x-axis, I want like what? X-axis is too cluttered, too cluttered. So actually, I'm just trying to talk to a developer. Like I'm an layman. I have very basic idea about Python, but I am having a senior developer who is the ChatGPT. I'm going to instruct what it is chat what I want, right? I'm telling my need. I'm giving my telling my problems to that in a very clear fashion. I'm giving screenshots. I'm giving some text informations. Now, once you're doing that, it will understand the context. It's not thinking because it's a machine, right? It doesn't think, but it can see the relationship. It can see the patterns. It's really good in reading the patterns. The human level context it can able to understand right now, and it gives me the solution. And instantly, all I had to do is like just copy and then I want to try this out. No, come on. Sorry, that's not the code. Here is the code. So code is here. Yeah, this is the code. So now we have this. It's getting like cluttered. This is something called dtick. I'm gonna say like, can you reduce the ticks to only 20? So that will not be having it's still too cluttered. It is still too cluttered because charts are not readable. So once we're done with this, we'll move on to the strategies, right? But the thing is like in real world, like there'll be definitely a lot of hiccups will be there. So once you start engaging, discussing with ChatGPT, you know what mistake ChatGPT makes, or you know how to ask the right question. It's all about asking the right questions. And once you're done with that, go and see. And it's all about getting, so you see that now that things are not too much cluttered and we have this. It's also kind of interactive as well. I can also go back and zoom a particular zone and I'll be able to see that what is happening around that level. Or I can also keep my cursor. Uh, Probably I can keep my cursor and I can see like what level it is happening right now, what is happening right now in the markets. I'll be able to do that, right? Now we'll do one thing. We'll go back to, let me close this. So I'll save this. So I'm going to go back to an inbuilt strategy. There's an inbuilt strategy here called supertrend. I'm sure you guys know what a super trend is all about. It's a simple ATR based trading strategy. So where I'm going to trade a strategy on BHEL, right? And I'm going to set the exchanges NSE, MAS. Obviously, I need a API key. So let me get the API key here. I can get the API key from the OpenAlgo portal itself and enter. Let me start the strategy here. Let me start the strategy. And so obviously, all I have to do is like go to the terminal and run this application. Just type, go to the particular folder. The folder is inside OpenAlgo. I have to go inside OpenAlgo. Inside OpenAlgo, we have the strategy folder. And inside the strategy folder, I'm going to type Python super trend. Maybe I'll just zoom it out. So I think maybe you should be able to see it right now. So super trend dot py and enter. So now actually the strategy is keep running over here. It will keep on running infinitely. So it will keep on calculating the super trend values and if at all any signals are going to happen. So right now it is running on what 1 minute time frame, right? So 1 minute time frame it is running the signals. And anytime if the level is going to get broken on a closing basis, it is going to trigger a signal here. Instantly, it's going to fire an order, right? So you can see that LTP is like 252. Right now, there is no position. Position has been 0. Quantity, we have taken like only 1 lot. Once you run, you cannot change the quantity. If you want to change the quantity or you want to change the symbol, you always have to stop the application and you have to restart with the modified parameters. So here the super trend parameter, I'm using like 5 and 1.0. ATR is I'm using 5. ATR multiplier, I'm using 1.0. So that it could trigger fast orders, maybe 1 or 2 orders we could be able to see in the live session itself. So here we are having the super trend calculation completely coded by ChatGPT. I haven't done that, right? I haven't written not even a single line of code, even though I had written in the past. My first super trend code I written around 2012, right? Where we don't have that trading view kind of stuff. So this is super trend, and then we have a strategy here. So in the strategy, we are checking whether the price is breaking out or not. We are getting the historical data, right? This is where we are getting the historical data for the last 7 days. Last 7 days, I'm getting the historical data. And here I'm just checking whether the super trend is crossing or not, whether long entry is happening or not, short entry is happening or not. I'm writing this condition in Pandas data frame itself. So you should be familiar with Pandas data frame. Uh, it's highly recommended that you get the basics of Pandas data frames so that your prompting techniques will be very much easier, right? Without prompting, without the basics of Python, right? So still you can make the things working, but you may not be very.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yeah.
Can you just turn off your captions at the bottom because it's showing up on the screen?
Is it okay? Just give me
Yes. Okay.
um,
Thank you.
captions. Where I can find like usually it will be there, but in my screen
On
it's
the
showing a little
Yeah, on the
different.
Zoom portion on the bottom under show captions on the bottom.
Um, Seeing like I disable annotation for others and annotate. Maybe no. Somehow it's not displaying to me. Maybe let me check show webinar. Yeah, show captions. So now it got turned off.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right, great. So still it is yet to show the signal. So we're just waiting for that. Maybe we can also simultaneously open trading view to check what is happening here. This is a symbol is like what in BHEL, right? The symbol is in BHEL. So in the meantime, we'll do one thing. We'll try to ensure that our OpenAlgo is in live mode, okay, so that we can see some live orders, execution of our live orders. And in the meantime, I also open trading view to check whether the signal is likely to happen or not. You can use your trading view or you can use your Fyers web terminal. So there also you can use super trend, right? So for time being, I'll use BHL here and let me remove all the other indicators. I'm going to add super trend. So super trend you can find inside the technical indicators. So inside this technicals, you can find the super trend stuff. Yeah. And the thing what I'm going to configure is like, I'm going to configure the settings is like, in our settings is like what 1 and 5, right? 5 is the ATR and 1 is the factor. Press OK. So anytime it's going to trigger an order, it's going to break that level. I will be getting the order simultaneously in my stuff as well, so in my OpenAlgo as well. And that order I should be able to see in the order book instantly. Let's see that. So in the meantime, what we will be doing is like, I'll show you how you can simulate, how we can develop your own strategy. So all you have to do is like, we have a working strategy in place. So just copy the strategy, right? I'll go to ChatGPT and say like, hey, this is my working strategy. So I'll open a new thread. You're gonna say like, this is a working strategy. I want to say like, can you uh, build simple 10 and or let's say 10 and 20 EMA crossover strategy, right? So, or you can give what are the rules you want, right? So then automatically what it does is like, once you have an existing working solution, it understands how to place the order, how to get the historical data, or you try to give more context. You can definitely, you see that it builds an EMA crossover. It is calculating the EMA 10 and EMA 20, right? If you want a plot also, you can use Plotly for plotting purpose to monitoring it. And it runs the EMA crossover strategy, and then it's fetching the data, and it's writing the buy sell long signal, short signal. It's writing that, it's looking for a crossover. It's also placing the orders. All those modules are there. And not only that, it is also having an log performance also. So what is happening right now, it also showcases you. And this you can copy it, and you can get it to your, here I'm going to add an, I'm going to say like EMA crossover.py, and I'm going to keep this separately. Later on, you can you just type Python EMA crossover.py. So it should be working as expected. So we're still waiting for the signals to happen. It's still yet to trigger almost. Yeah, the trigger is yet to happen. Maybe we should use something like a 5-second charts or something, but it's fine. Anyways, one trade is what I'm just looking out for. Yeah, it's about to throw a signal. Maybe the bar takes like another 9 seconds or so. If it is able to be above the super trend line, it's going to throw a signal. In our case, what is the value? So it should go above, close about 21.8. Right? Then it should trigger a signal here. Still, it's exactly at 21.8. That's why it's not triggering a signal yet. Oh, sorry, the value is 21.81. So it has to cross over here. So if this upper band is getting crossed, automatically it will lead to a signal. Is my API key is correct? I think so. Or is my application is, because since I restarted the kernel, I haven't tested whether the application is working or not. Maybe I should also have to restart again, I think. Yeah, so it took a trade here. It triggered a signal. So which means the signal would have been fired over here. The BHL is there. So right now, if I look into the positions, we have this uh, long got triggered over here. Right now it's running long. Sometimes the value could be slightly different in terms of calculation. You can see that right now, if you could see the super trend value, so it reads like on my screen, if I am seeing over here, right, if I keep my cursor over here, right now the super trend value is like 251.71 or 251.67 right now. Maybe there'll be a small difference will be there. So here you can see that 251.62. So there it's 251.67. Here it is like 0.62. So there'll be like minute difference will be there. Right? That way it fires orders. So The code is pretty easy to understand. So you don't need to do with the complex authentication process, or you don't need to work on complex managing the symbols, token files, and database and all those stuff. Everything comes pre-built for you, and everything is like open to access. And if in case you want to develop your own features, you are totally welcome to develop your own features. You can build your own features, and most of the features which are required for a common trader is already available in OpenAlgo, and easily you can connect your Fyers account and you can transmit orders, right? And very soon, lot more in interactive controls is what we are looking out for. Right now, it just acts like a bridge, but going forward, that's not the case. We're gonna have to do a lot more interesting things with that. Yeah, so I think Jeffrey, I think more or less we can take questions maybe.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Do you want to take your screen sharing off, and then I'll get into the questions so you can be a little larger on the
Yes.
screen.
Please, just give me a sec. So I think your screen is getting shared. So should I have to switch off my screen? Like,
Correct. Your share screen.
um, how to turn it off? Like I never I shared the screen, but I never try to turn it off. Um, in share, I'm just checking, but
Yeah, just click on the green button at the bottom.
I should quickly click on the.
The green share button at the bottom on Zoom.
Yeah, that's what I tried, but it's asking me to share the entire screen, which is already shared.
No problem, sir. So I'll take a couple of questions. So somebody was asking is what is the Fyers API and how does it facilitate algo trading along with what you have been explaining right now, sir?
See, Fyers, see, back then in the olden days, we have to log into the broker application, right? And then we place the order. Whatever we try to do or whatever we are trying to do manually, if you want to automate that process, so we need some sort of an interaction with the Fyers broking account, right? So that connectivity medium is the Fyers API. So it's kind of a software layer which can interact with another software like OpenAlgo, or directly you can also send from Python, you can also directly send orders to Fyers API, and the Fyers will API will be communicated to the broker. I mean Fyers in this case, and the order will be sent to the exchange. So it'll be acting like a communication medium. Like you can ask question. Hey, I want. Can you get me the order book? Can you get me the trade book? So can you get me the position book, or can you get me the funds? So then the Fyers will be responding you. So all these information will be handling in an software level, right? So we'll be using Python functions to ask that questions, and we get the data, we process the data, or we can send orders, and we can also send follow through orders like stop loss orders or trailing stop loss orders, and a lot more things we can do using the Fyers API. So yeah.
And another one is how does OpenAlgo simplify strategy building for traders, sir?
See, if trader has to build directly on top of API, they have to have tons of learnings, right? So they have to learn how to do the OAuth authentication. Brokers will be using the OAuth authentication. So they need to know how to solve it. And then they need to, anyways, they have to have their own dashboard to monitor their trades, whether the trade is happening properly or not. So not only that, and then they have to process the tokens, they have to manage a separate database for that. So writing the codes, trying to get the historical data. You have to pass the right tokens. If you're not passing the right token, then obviously you may not get the right results. So here, what we had done is like in OpenAlgo, we had simplified everything so that even as I said, the ultimate aim is like even a 10-year-old kid should be able to do an automated trading using OpenAlgo. That's ultimate aim behind that. So, and on top of using ChatGPT, and I mean, you don't need to be a real expert. A basic knowledge about Python is more than enough. So that will be more than enough to connect with OpenAlgo and build your base strategy. Or what are the strategies that you are having in mind, or some other strategy somewhere else you are finding it. You can easily convert into Python using ChatGPT, and you can easily automate those stuff.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Then another question is what are the best practices for managing live and historical data in Python?
So talking about live data and historical data, right? You should be aware about what are the supported timeframes of fires, because for that we have one more function called interval in Python. That is, if you go and see in the documentation, it gives you all the list of supported fires interval. Or you can also go back to Fyers API. There also you can see the interval, and you should decide whenever you're building a strategy. You should know what time frame that you're gonna play with that. So ensure that you're using the right time frame, ensure that you're using the right symbol. First, always test the strategy in the analyzer mode before taking it live, right? So earlier that feature is not there, but recently, like last 15 days, we've been playing with that feature. That's kind of pretty interesting stuff. So managing about the live data, maybe if you want to do backtesting, you may have to save the data into database also. That is what we are trying to solve right now. I think maybe another 1 or 2 months from here, will be able to store the historical data as well for your own post analysis. If you want to do some analysis on top of the broker's historical data, you should be able to do the analysis, and all the data you own it, all the software, you have the complete clarity over what is happening in your trading system, and you have complete access to the OpenAlgo source code. So basically, you are wearing the Iron Man suit.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
So there's another person who's actually asking us this question is what are the key considerations for setting up a secure and efficient algo trading environment?
So basically, all your secure environments, you have to keep it in a .env files, all your API keys, API secret keys. So .env file is a kind of a secure mechanism to handle the API keys. And in fact, OpenAlgo itself, we had implemented a lot of security protocols, and the most of the basic security has been already taken care, so that none of your secrets will be exposed. And a lot of uh, even though it's open source software, we thought like it's just like that. We haven't designed the software, right? So we meticulously took time. Particularly, we took time to build on top of. We significantly given some time to build some security features as well. So basic security is already taken care of. All your API keys, the authentication token, everything is encrypted in OpenAlgo. So we are using that industry standard award-winning security algorithms is what we are using. And if basic security purpose, you have to keep the files in .env file. Never ever put your API key directly in the Python file, right? So in my case, I had done it for demonstration purpose. I had done it, but in your case, you always ensure that you keep your secret files either in some sort of vault or in some sort of an env file. Env file is the basic security, and it's easy to do. Yeah.
All right, sir. So we have somebody else who asked us, is there backtesting capabilities as well on the platform?
Right now, it is not, but we are starting with a new project called Open Engine. So where we'll be building an end-to-end full stack backtesting engine, like something similar to OpenAlgo. We'll be building a complete full stack environment for algo traders, completely open source, where users will be able to backtest cash markets, F&O markets. Because right now there are a lot of open source libraries are there. Like maybe if you want to try right now, there are Vector BT, which I am using it personally, and then we have this Backtrader, which is quite famous for, and then Zipline. But all these libraries, even though they are open source libraries, they're not designed for Indian markets. So we thought like we should be building one for Indian markets. So I think next year we will be starting with this open engine, which I think which will solve the Indian traders. So we are thinking of building one of the fastest backtesting engine, which is completely full stack, completely open source. So I think very soon it will be coming up, and that will be integrated. You can integrate with OpenAlgo also going forward. That's how the entire design is likely to be.
All right. Another couple of questions more, sir. Somebody was asking, can you add multiple scripts at one time, like 30 plus scripts at one time?
You
Is that
can
a
do that using
possibility?
basket orders. So I showed you basket orders, right? There you can send
Okay.
multiple orders in one shot. That's totally possible. There is no limitation as of. You can even send 100 orders also, but sometimes broker will restrict because broker has API rate limitations. You have to understand most of the brokers they'll be allowing like 25 symbols per second. Every second they'll be sending like 25 symbols. So if you want to send more symbols, you have to give some more delay, and then you may have to split into two basket orders instead.
All
So send a
right.
basket order, give a delay, and send another basket order.
Okay, sir. We have another one which says, are WebSocket and GTT orders, are they supported on the platform?
Not yet, but we thought like, as I said, OpenAlgo is kind of a baby right now, just hardly 6 months old. But 30,000 lines of code we had completely written using Claude Sonnet 3.5 and ChatGPT models. But we have in plan to bring all the GTT orders, bracket orders, cover orders, what are the orders which brokers are supporting, we will also supporting very soon. I think days are not far, I think. Yeah. And WebSockets, which is there in pipeline, it's slightly difficult to implement. So we are just delaying it. Maybe in 2025, definitely we'll be having WebSockets alone. Where you'll be seeing that streaming codes and stop loss and target. A lot of risk management tools you'll be able to see in 2025. So right now, OpenAlgo is a baby. It can only act like a bridge. You can monitor it. You can do strategy testing. That's what OpenAlgo is all about, right? So it can connect with your own popular trading softwares.
All right, sir. Just taking one last question and then we'll wrap up. So this is basically completely giving us your analysis of what all you've put together. What are the main challenges traders face with algo strategies and how do they address them? And how have you actually taken that into consideration?
See, majority of the traders back then, not now, back then, if you look into 2016, 17, majority of the traders' mindset was like, will the algo trading works, right? So that is what even many big companies, industry people, they think that will the algo trading work? But now the very same people, they want to automate it because now, earlier, there is no provision for APIs. There is no facility for people doing an automated trading. Now brokers are technologically capable of providing this algo solutions, so very easily you can automate it. And the thing is like every time that you are doing an automation, every time you have to validate that whatever I'm doing is right or not, right? The system, what are the instructions that you're gonna give, what are the rules that you're gonna give it as an algo, exactly it will happen the way it's supposed to happen. There's no doubt about that. Many people think like, what if that is going to happen, this is going to happen. But I think everything requires a start. So just start getting the Fyers API, try to configure with OpenAlgo, try to understand the basics, try to test your strategies with Analyzer. And then once you gain confidence, right? Once you gain confidence, anytime you can always switch back to live mode. Until then, you can still remain in the Analyzer mode. You can test any number of strategies. You can connect any number of trading applications. Like you can simultaneously can connect AMI Broker, TradingView, simultaneously you can run strategies, multiple strategies you can run in Python, right? So test it properly, and then once proper testing has been done, do some proper back testing also before getting into that. Use some back testing tools like VectorBT or the tools like Zipline or the backtrader, right? So try to backtest your strategies, ensure that the strategies are properly validated, then connect live, analyze mode, try to do walk forward testing, and then connect with your live account. All you're done with that. It takes a little bit of leap to believe in automated systems. Some people still they have hesitation to do that, but I'm seeing like more and more people are involved in automation these days, right? That fear, I think it's been keep on disappearing. The thin line is evaporating, is what I would say that.
All right, sir. We'll just take one last question. Somebody's asked us, does it fetch from the algos, does it fetch historical data every minute or you have to simply append it?
See, every time you're going to call, it will be getting the data. So there are two kinds of data. One is historical data. So only if you fetch, only you will get the live data. Second one is WebSocket data. WebSocket data is like you just only subscribe automatically every second you will be getting that real-time codes. As of now, WebSocket is not implemented yet, but that's still there in our pipeline. But right now, you can play with the historical data. You can use it for backtesting. You can store it in your database if you want, or you can also use it for live automated trading as well.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. We've taken a lot of questions actually. There's also a thread that's been created on our community page, and we're going to be sharing that same thread for everybody to ask your questions directly to sir. You all can join our Fires community, and
Sure.
there itself you can put down all your questions in brief, and sir should be able to get back to all of you all. So that link for the community thread will be shared in our YouTube and our Zoom as well. So all of our viewers can actually join our community and basically put on all your queries there itself directly, and sir will be able to take it as and when is possible.
Sure. Yeah.
So thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Rajendran, for an absolutely insightful, engaging session on building Python strategies using ChatGPT and the Fyers API. Your expertise and step-by-step guidance has provided immense value to all the participants, and it's offering a clear roadmap to get started with algo trading. And to all our attendees who came in, thank you for being part of this webinar. And we hope you found it absolutely informative and practical. So stay tuned for more such interactive sessions with Fyers to enhance your trading journey. Happy trading.
Thank you, Jeffrey, Fyers, and Naresh for giving this opportunity to talk to me. Pleasure is mine. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.